Good afternoon, guys. I have my little overworld sprite dude going on. He's almost done. As you can see, he's just kind of running around, and he's got this little pimp limp when he walks to the right. I don't really know what the deal is with that. But the whites of my eyes are also missing as well. So it needs a little bit of tweaking, but for the most part, it's like 85–90% done, courtesy of my friend Jordan, who also made the battle sprite that you're going to see in a little bit. So big thanks to him for both of those. I just gotta fix that one, but I'm gonna use this to segue into today's game, since you know I just kind of opened up the versus recorder, and I don't know the story behind today's game, to be completely honest. Like, I have a UU team, and looking at it, it's really weak to water in hindsight. Like, I don't understand what made me think this was a good idea to bring like Golurk and, you know, Victini and Nidoqueen on the same team. But the other thing, if you were looking at his side of the field, is he has a Volcarona, a Porygon 2, and a Natu. Now, I'm thinking maybe he thought I was probably going to do a mix match next on the stream, and that might have been what happened. I don't know. But I do predict him right now to go into Natu to try to bounce back these Stealth Rocks or the Toxic Spikes that I would want to set up if that wasn't a completely obvious move. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out as well, go into my Golurk, and now this is an rock polishing set with 3 attacks. I cannot wait for this thing to have no guard, that we can put Dynamic Punch and Stone Edge, and then just not have to worry about your sweeps being ruined because of you know, paralysis or anything like that, and you know, moves missing. Those are common things to stop sweeps. So I'm gonna go for Rock Polish right now, but Earthquake is still a good move to do, so I'm gonna do that on Porygon 2, and that does a lot of damage to Porygon 2, and then it turns out it's not actually Porygon 2, and maybe he thought it was gonna be faster, or, you know, maybe force a switch. But I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for an Earthquake. I'm pretty sure I can take an unboosted Ice Beam. And then he ends up just losing his Zoroark. I'm like, okay, that was a pretty pleasant surprise, I suppose. But we both miss our moves on this turn, which I found kind of funny, because my move has, like, what is it? What is Stone Edge? Like 80? 80, 85? I want to say it's like 80. But I miss it, and then he misses Air Slash, which is 95. I know Air Slash is 95, because I miss that thing a lot, for some reason. Anything above 90 tends to miss more than anything below 90. But I'm a little surprised that he took the Stone Edge as well as he did, but the thing is that he's probably a defensive set, just, you know, based on how well he took that Air Slash, so it's whatever, not that big a deal. The big deal, though, in the short term, I suppose, is that I'm going to get a crit on the Stone Edge. Brings him down to about half. Now, I'm a little surprised at how much this does to this Dusclops. Like, I did not expect him to take an unstabbed Stone Edge that well, but he doesn't even kill me off with the Shadow Sneak, and I'm going to take him out with the Shadow Punch, but die to my own Life Orb Recoil, so I say that it mattered in the short term because it dies now as opposed to later, but I definitely would have kept my Zoroark safe if the Dusclops was still floating around. So, Double Down, I decided to bring in my Scarfer because that's what you do on Double Downs, and he decides to bring in his Natu. I don't really know what this thing's gonna do, but I figure, what the fuck, it's a Natu. I don't really have a real reason to be scared of it, so I'm just going to go for Echoed Voice, and that'll be fantastic. But he sets up the Light Screen. Now, I don't know what item he's holding, but if he's bringing in Natu, I would assume it's Eviolite, not Light Clay. Also, just based on how much his Echoed Voice is doing immediately after this one. But he sets up both screens, and then he's just going to go ahead and get out of here. Personally, what I would have done is I would have just let him die, but then again, he lets his Togekiss die because it's, you know, on so low of health. He probably let it die just because it's maybe slower than his Natu because it doesn't have any speed investment. That kind of makes sense to me. But the main thing that I thought I was going to have trouble with was the Volcarona. It's not. It's really not. It's this Porygon 2 that happened to trace the Serene Grace. That is my main problem, because now his Discharge will have a 60% chance to paralyze. His Ice Beam will have a 20% chance to freeze, and that is a 100%, you know, chance of being completely fucking annoying. So, goes for another Discharge, and I'm hoping I don't get paralyzed here, so I can at least go for Echoed Voice one more time and get a decent amount of damage off, and, you know, build it up some more. Especially because the Light Screen wore off here. You know, that way he would have had to probably recover on the next turn. I would have liked to have left him weaker than this, but I suppose the paralysis, you know, on a almost fully boosted Echoed Voice kind of makes up for the crit. Maybe a little bit, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I suppose. But here I make a really stupid play. I thought Azumarill was faster than Porygon 2. It's not. I really should have done base speed research. You know, I thought, oh, he's going to be bulky and all that stuff. Well, I'm bulky too, but I think I can outspeed him. Fortunately, the Discharge doesn't hurt as bad as I think it would, but the Waterfall doesn't do as much either. So I'm going to go ahead and Nidoqueen right now, predicting another Discharge because it's a super effective move, but he decides to go for Recover. and, you know, maybe he would have gone for the discharge on the next turn. The fact is, he didn't attack me with Ice Beam. That would have been kind of a stupid thing to do. And also, Nidoqueen is a pretty good switch there in case he was also packing the Toxic as well. I haven't seen Tri-Attack on this thing. I think the only moves we end up seeing are, like, Recover, Ice Beam, and Discharge this whole game. But I choose this opportunity right here, knowing that it's going to be really tempting for him to try to hit me with an Ice Beam as opposed to go out to not to, which I actually thought I had killed at this point in the game. But it turns out I didn't, because I end up Dragon Tailing out into it. So it takes the rocks damage, but I'm really glad that I got the rocks up now. And that was probably his biggest mistake, not switching Natu in on the stealth rocks. But, you know, I'm not really going to complain because he brought a Volcarona, and yeah, I might have a little bit of trouble with that if it decides to get set up. But he goes for a Wish right now. Since, you know, he is a flying type, my only moves on this set are Earth Power and Dragon Tail. I have to try to kill him off with a Dragon Tail. And, yeah, that's pretty much that. But thing is, he brings in Porygon 2 now. And the problem with this is that I have nothing that can one-shot him. There is no way a defensive Nidoqueen can, you know, OHKO a Porygon. So, thing is, though, is that he also traces the Sheer Force, which I found hilarious, because he's been on both ends of the spectrum. He has the, he had the Serene Grace earlier, which doubled his, you know, his moves, chances, things happening. And now he has 0 chance. And I'm not really scared of Porygon 2 anymore, because he can't get Paralysis Assists on the Discharge, and then he also can't get the, you know, Freezes with the Ice Beam and whatnot. They'll be a little bit beefed up, but you're probably wondering, oh, hey, you know, I thought your Azumarill was paralyzed and it took a little bit of a hit. No, you know, I had a Zoroark too, it's whatever. So I go for the Focus Blast. Ends up doing a pretty good chunk, and this Discharge is going to hurt a little bit more than it normally would have, but it still really doesn't hurt that bad. It does a little over half, even with the Sheer Force boost. But he does get the Spadef drop. It doesn't matter, because if you look at how much Focus Blast did, it's not that big a deal. But I decided to go for the Night Daze right here, actually predicting a Recover, thinking that it would probably kill it off from that range anyway. But he brings in his Volcarona, which just dies to a Night Daze. And the thing that I was the most worried about turned out to be the thing that I was least worried about, since it dies in one turn. But he brings in Porygon 2, going to take a little bit of rocks damage, and I'm feeling pretty good in that, you know, just based on the damage that Waterfall did from Azumarill earlier and how much Focus Blast did, that a Stab Night Daze has better accuracy than, you know, Focus Blast, and it should be able to do the job from there. And it does. Fuck. That was a phone call, and that's the game. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you're welcome to rate, comment, subscribe, do your thing. Various links will be in the description, and I have updates concerning things and other things that I'll probably talk about a little bit in the TCGO video, which should be in your sub boxes before this, so make sure to check that out as well. Anyway, that'll do it out of me, and I will see you guys later.